Beginning of my video. Boom!
Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
All
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things. It was over in a snap.
We really want it. Alright, we'll be nice.
Only you can be a Patreon.
Oh my gosh!
It's crazy.
You don't need to follow the show to be hyped.
Hello,
All right,
Boring
welcome
Review
back
Nation!
to Boring Land. I'm not gonna let you do it this time.
Gabe here.
I will not allow it. Nick.
And we're here today to review a show that, we're enjoying it, guys. Thank you guys again for the recommendation.
Especially this last episode. Holy cow.
Mirzapur. I tell you what. So gangster. Oh, so gangster.
Oh,
I love it.
ruthless.
I love it. I mean, where do we start? I mean, I don't even know.
So, let me get my notes out.
Our reviews are always all over the place, guys. You know what it is. But we talked about how the last episode 4, wasn't our favorite, okay? I mean, I get it. There was a lot of character building.
They popped their cherry.
They popped their cherry at the end, which that was cool. And that actually goes right into the end of this episode.
The carpet, the body, and
with
everything.
the carpet and body, right? Because in the first episode, they teach them, okay, this is how you kill somebody. Now it's how you dispose of the body. So they wrap them up in a carpet, hence the carpet cleaning, not the carpet cleaning, the carpet making business.
Colleen, yeah.
Colleen, throw them in the back of the truck.
Okay, you know what happened in this show. You guys are watching our reviews. At the end of the day, the cop comes and sees a rolled up carpet with the guy in the back of the truck, and he's messing with it, and it's seeping with red liquid, for crying out loud.
Right.
What is that? Oh, it's a stain. That's why we're getting rid of it. And he totally buys it and walks away. You gotta be kidding me.
Wait.
And luckily for him, he did buy it because Gudu was like,
Gudu was gonna
"Oh,
blast
one
him."
second away. Because now, once Gudu's tasted the thrill of killing, and I say the thrill of killing not because I enjoy it, because he enjoys it so much. Once he's tasted that, I mean, he wants it again and again. And it was like the first time you have cake when you're 1 year old. I want some more of that. So he was just like, he's lucky. One more second, I was going to shoot him.
You know what? I know he's messing up, but I'm starting to really love Gudu, bro. I can see his flaws coming, but I'm really starting to love Gudu.
Oh my
And he's
God.
like, you know what? Good thing that you opened up when you did. One more second, and I would have splattered him. I was like, oh.
And then the look that Bob Luke gives him,
like a cop, he doesn't care.
And someone made a really good comment in the comment section for episode 4, I think it was, when I said, things aren't going to go well for Gudu, and Bob was going to make a decision. The guy said, no, Bob was with Gudu until the end. He's never going to leave him. They're going to stay loyal. That might have been a spoiler. Who knows? But I like that perspective to where Babalu knows he's in trouble, but he's not going to turn it back on his brother.
No, they're brothers. They got that bond. But anyway, after this happens, now we really, I don't want to be all over the place, but I would say this was Babalu's episode. Yes, Gudu's, but this was his episode because he showed his worth.
I just keep thinking about that Gudu scene with all of those dealers, those arms dealers or whatever they were.
Right.
Because that was an amazing scene.
That
But
was
you're right.
an amazing
This
scene
is
as
where
well.
Babalu shows why Tripathi was interested in his brains from the beginning.
Because it's him that figures out that these dealers that
so awesome.
have loyalty to Junipar are selling the guns over there and taking the bad ones. They're selling the pipes that they need or whatever. So they're having a meeting, a big feast, and it's like, okay, everybody, you guys go into the room. So they sit them down, and there's food in there.
Well, okay, I'm gonna do what you do. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let's get a little more into how he figures it out. I mean, that is an awesome scene where Babalu, he did his homework. What we see is him going into that one dealer's home, and you can tell the guy's nervous.
Right.
And he's got that chest of the guns, and he's telling him this lame story, and Babalu's not buying it for a second. Oh, really? If you say this, and how come this? How come that? We checked out your phone records, for crying out loud.
Right.
And then Gudu, I mean, he loves being the bully. I mean, he just loves it. He's just going around checking stuff. No, don't go in there. Don't go in there. And he opens it up and sees all the junky guns. And I love how he realized, like you said, that he was giving the good ones to Junipar, taking the bad ones and selling that to their clientele, therefore ruining the gun business in Mirzapur because they're getting junky stuff and making money hand over fist with it and being able to buy this or that. But that whole scene was awesome. You see how, I don't want to say diabolical, how genius Babalu is. And then you have the wife and you have the baby in the room next to it. Tell me when Gudu's like, I got it.
I thought
I got it.
Because
Tell me you did not know.
Gudu did not
think.
hesitate. He's loving it. You're right. He's loving killing because he killed that dude without hesitation, instantly. He's like, so you're stealing from Mirzapur? He just picks up the gun. It was like, I was shocked that it happened so quick. His brother was shocked. It was like, bam, shot him through the head. I was like, wow. First, that was a cool
And
shot.
then Babu was like,
So then Babu was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, you hear the baby crying in the room, and he goes, I got him. Like, no.
I almost turned off at that point. I'm like,
they're gonna go too far. They're gonna go too far.
And then, dude, so I thought for sure he was gonna kill him, right? And then what does dude come out with?
He says, what happened? I said, I took care of it. How do you take care of it? Babalu tells him, and he goes, we made a deal. She doesn't say anything. She gets to leave and keep making me breast milk.
For his natural muscle enhancer. I got my mother's milk. And so, as long as I keep them alive, they're gonna keep providing me milk. And you can tell ever since he told Babu about mother's milk, and Bob was like, are you crazy? Where are you gonna get that from? You can tell he's like a kid in the candy store who had this great idea. I finally figured it out. Because I think he would have killed him. And then once
he was
realized,
going back there to kill him, and then he was like, wait a minute, I can get my mother's milk. But yeah, Babalu
he was crazy.
It was super smart and figured it out. And again, even later on in an episode, right, Mr. Japati says the combination of brain and brawn has really worked well and has grown the business exponentially. He realizes how great, you know, their combination is working together.
Now I got a question for you. We don't really do this too much in our reviews, but here's a question I honestly have, and I want to know your perspective. So back to episode 2, when he has a conversation, he decides not to kill these boys for beating up his son, but to bring him on the payroll.
Right.
We don't know it then, but we know it now that the business is struggling,
right?
And especially the gun business and other areas too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that he saw that combination of bronze and brains so early on that he thought, these guys, I'm not just going to show them mercy and have some future workers for my son. I actually need these two types of potential. And if they don't work out, I'll kill them. But do you think he saw early on the potential they had for helping his struggling business?
I have a more devious thing. I think that the reason he did what he did was because either way he wins, he has leverage. If they work for me, now I've got leverage over their dad, who's the big hot shot lawyer or judge putting everybody in jail, who won't play ball. And if they don't, I'm going to clip him and he's going to figure it out anyway. Because remember, dad wanted to go, like, I'll go. And he's like, no, we want the kids. He wants to see your sons. So now dad, they got him on a leash. I think that's why he did it initially. And to also say, hey, these two guys basically took out, you know, my son and his 4 quote unquote guys that are a crew, you know, basically single-handedly with their dad and the mother, you know what I mean? So it shows that these guys have a lot of heart and have a lot of tenacity. But I thought that was his whole end game, that he was going to try to, if not buy, like, look, now your kids are working for us, so if you try to persecute us, if you try to take us to court, we're going to sink them. They're going to be our scapegoats, because now he's got them doing all the gun business, right? He doesn't even have them working on the carpet, so your sons are in it just as deep as I am. If you try to come after me, I'm going to bury them.
So he's not even using too much emotion. He's using his brains.
That's what I...
Why is the business struggling so much before Babalu and Gudu come in, and a lot of it's Babalu? Why does it struggle so much when he is so clever and so smart? Is it because his son messed things up that much? Is it because, you know, they're not paying attention? Because Babalu comes in and he wants to look at every single dealer. What are you doing? What are you working with? They have the quality control guy, right, with the gun. Like, you test it out yourself.
Right.
Both of them. You got 2 hands.
Right.
And the guy is so embarrassed they walk away and he's cussing out everyone that's watching him.
Right.
Why is the business struggling so much? Is it because did his son mess things up that much?
I have 2 theories on that. A, his son, we already know, is stealing from him, right? So his son is stealing from him. So his son's probably not, that's part of the reason why he's not seeing all the profits. And you saw from 15% to 25%, that's a lot of money, okay? So his son is stealing from him. B, what have you seen Babalu do this entire thing? Actually spend time at the factory. Actually go through the books.
His homework.
What was Muna doing? All he does is go to the movie theaters, do drugs, and hang out with his friends.
Rejected by Sweetie.
And get rejected by Sweetie. Exactly. He doesn't really spend time on it, but yet he's the one out there going and making deals. Like, you got to understand, he's an older guy, so you're removed from the streets. You're supposed to have the people underneath you doing it. Well, Makpul is just a soldier. He doesn't know about the business, and he doesn't know about that. And his son, who's supposed to be having his back and his dad's best interest at heart, is stealing from him. So I think that's why the business is struggling.
You mentioned Makpul, so I wrote down something about him. So we've talked about what's happened so far. when the boys are doing good, doing really good, and maybe I'll ask this question after we talk about the whole feast. So they have the 2 feasts. They bring in all the dealers. One group, and you can kind of look at these guys as like the lower class dealers.
Right.
They just give them free guns and ammo. Take whatever you want. It's a party. Take what you want. We're going to put you in a different room with this feast, and you're going to get like not the best food. And then they get these higher class dealers in this nice room with the best foods. And they're doing it really sneaky, like where they're all there and they're whispering, you go here, you go there. And naturally they're like, what's going on?
Right.
And you have the high class dealers who are the scum, right? They're trying to make money off of Chirpathy by not doing the right thing. They're in there and they're like, why do you have us in here? Because it's better food. Oh, that's right. That's where we deserve to be. So you have that whole thing. And they have that set up for a reason, because then Gudu comes in.
The minute I saw Gudu come in, I was like, here it goes.
Kid in a candy store. Once again, I mean, he is there with his gun, and he's got probably at least a dozen of these dealers. And they got their guns on the table, right next to their plate.
Does not
I'm gonna
care.
put down my gun so I can feed my face. They have their gun right there, and he's got them right there, and he's basically
He
like...
said, you're all here because you have connections to Juniper, and we need absolute loyalty. And then his gun jams on him
That's
with
the best
misfires.
part, because he's just, like I said, I mean, he's, say hello to my little friend, right? I mean, he's ready to go, and then he shoots a few of them, and they're all scared, and then it messes up, and he's like...
So they got their guns, and they start shooting at him. This guy's the luckiest guy ever.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Luckiest guy ever. But you got to figure, they're sitting on the ground, he's standing. So, again, once you got the high ground, that's just, you know what I mean? It's usually going to make for an easier target if they're on the ground the way they were.
It still was a little unbelievable, because these are gun dealers, for crying out. This is their trade, and they're in a place, you never want to trust anyone too much, even if you're eating. And so he's able to take all of them out. And Makpul, he's outside the door, and it's not like a bulletproof door, right? He's just outside the door. First of all, why would he not be far, far away with all these gunshots going off? Second of all, he wasn't going to go in there whatsoever and sacrifice himself. He was probably the back of his mind hoping that Gudu was going to get killed by being a little overzealous. But this is my question. It seems to me that Makpul, he sees Babalu do well, and now he sees Gudu do well. It seems like he's getting really irritated with how well they're doing. And he's always been that soldier. Even Chirpathy in front of him at the dinner table in the first episode, he's not in front of him. He was kind of out to the back. He tells, I think it's his son or something. He's like,
that's why he doesn't eat with us.
He's not he doesn't eat with us. He's not our family. Your family.
Equal, right.
But it seems like Makpul is getting really annoyed that these guys are succeeding and succeeding so fast. He has these looks. He gave it twice. One to Babalu, and then once after Gudu walks out alive from shooting all those dealers out.
I didn't pay
I
attention
feel
to
like
that.
he's getting irritated. I felt like
didn't pay attention to that.
The showrunners, the director, made a point of the look that he gave him. He doesn't seem too happy.
And I hope not, because I love Makpul's character, and I don't want him to
awesome.
betray the Tripedes. But then I could see him getting upset that, these new youngsters are coming in. But again, these youngsters are getting stuff done that you can't get done. You don't have the knowledge to, right there, not just finding...
Is it the knowledge or is it the chance? He's never gotten that chance for the most part.
No.
He's never been asked to run the factory.
He doesn't
He's never been
have
asked
the
to run
knowledge
this.
to be able to run the gun business. He's a soldier. And even Mr. Tripedes said it in a few episodes ago. You need a business mind in order to do this. We're not soldiers. We're not, warriors. We got people who do that. But going back to this episode, not only did Babalu show himself there, but then his business plan is amazing, and everybody's even questioning him. And Muna even goes to his dad like, they're doing this, and that, and they're giving away the guns and giving away the bullets. What are they doing? And then he's
discounted rates and all this stuff.
And he's like, listen, trust me. Right now, we got guns that we can't sell. Okay, if we get rid of them, then people will start using them, and from the profits, they'll be able to buy more guns. Now, the people that become victims go get guns. And I love what the line that I think it was Gudu said. We're gonna turn this into what? Did you remember? He said, we're going to turn Mirzapur into America.
Oh, yeah,
I was cracking up when he said that.
Giving guns to everybody.
Everybody's got a gun now. And the one guy tried to go rob, like, the store clerk, and the store clerk, let me get my money. Boom!
Yeah.
Shot him. Everybody's armed now.
And
it's a genius business plan.
As a human being, as someone with morals, I'm just like, no, let's not give everyone the guns. But as far as a business standpoint, running a gun business, he's saying, yes, I want the competition to get mad. I want our dealers to get mad. I want all those guns to go out there. because the bad guns are eventually going to be replaced with the better guns, and then we can set the price because we're making better guns. But we have to have our quality control in place. We have to have these scam artists out of the way.
Right.
We have to have the dealers we can trust. He even takes the kickbacks to the police officer. Says, you're going to get an upfront gift. Here's your roll of money, and you're going to get a flat fee, but you're no longer getting the cut on every single gun that's sold, and that's just the way it's got to work.
Right.
I mean, he's making these big decisions, and luckily Chapathi's giving him stamp of approval because he knows he's kind of in a desperate situation where the politicians are giving him pressure. But you're right, it is definitely Bob Blue's episode. He really shined, but that line about America, I definitely remember that now.
That was so funny when he said that. He said, we're going to turn Mirzapur into America. And then in the very next scene, you got old ladies that got guns and store clerks got guns. And again, it's a business model that survives. If you just don't sell to one side, you sell to both sides. Sell to everybody. That way, you're going to need them. And especially with these guns, because they're like one-shot deals, right? Because they're... basically, once you shoot them, they're done because they're what do you call it? They're counterfeit guns. So once they've used them once, now you got to come back and get another one. It's such a genius business model because it's that residual income. You got to keep coming back to them. So
one thing I want to mention is a side thing, but it has to do with Gudu. Someone had mentioned a few times that the actor was in Furious 7. I said, okay, cool. I didn't remember where he was or who he was. My son, we've been watching the Furious movies. And we were on the 7th one, so we were watching it this last weekend. And so I'm watching it, and, they go to, I believe, India. And it's those 3 towers where the fancy car, jumps both towers.
Oh, yeah.
He is the guy that gets them the inside connection so they can get invited to that party so they can get to that car. It's this actor. I think his name's Ali Faisal or something like that. And so I'm watching it, and then I'm remembering Furious 7. I'm seeing, he looks like Gudu. But he was so much thinner. I mean, he was in really, really good shape. Right. Pretty ripped. But he was so much thinner. Yeah. He had the longer hair. I'm like, man, this guy really put on some dedication to get his body bigger.
Yoked for this.
I think as the series has gone on, I want to say, I'm not sure if it's makeup or what, but I want to say he's gotten bigger every episode. So it's almost like he was pumping, maybe right before those scenes, but it looked like he was getting bigger as each episode goes on to go along with the storyline of him doing the pills and doing the mother's milk and whatnot to get bigger. So I thought that was really impressive that the actor put that dedication, because Furious 7 didn't come out too long ago.
Right.
But that was cool. But so near the end here, we have this interesting scene with Compounder. Now, this guy is one of the friends in Stree, the goofy friend that gets possessed.
Oh.
This guy talks about his love for razors. And I think Jody was in the room at that time, and she's like, what is going on? Because they're having a field day with this guy in the bathroom who is talking back to Muna. Muna's already mad about, his place with his dad and all this kind of stuff. And he's kind of like, what are you doing with that razor? I have.
He said, now everybody in Mirzapur got a gun. Why are you still walking around with a razor?
And then he's just, and it was a little unbelievable because I don't really fear Compounder's character, but when he delivered these lines, I was like, this guy is crazy. Yeah. I mean, he is in love with his razor, and he shows him as the guy starts stabbing the guy in the bathroom. Muna is like, oh yeah, I can see how it's done. He's like, no. Let me show you the essence of it. And that was just such a creepy scene.
Yeah, it was.
But they mutilated that guy in there. So I thought that was interesting. I saw that the mom, not Bina, but Gudu and Babu's mom, right?
Right.
She wanted some power.
I love it.
She wanted to enjoy the power her sons had gotten. Now,
I love it.
After she was able to taste that, and Gudu was able to give her exactly what she wanted. You're not gonna pay for a month. No, for a year, forever. You can pay for it.
He said, after I die, they still don't pay. He goes and tells the shopkeeper.
And so you have that scene. She gets her respect. He apologizes, but it seems like she didn't like that taste because she's trying to give him the money for the water bottle. I'm not sure if that's just because she didn't understand that he was telling the truth, but I kind of took that as Gudu completely humiliated this guy when she just wanted him to apologize. I felt. Right. And then when he got everything that she wanted, I feel like, now I'm not sure how the episodes go on, but I feel like it was more than she really wanted.
No, I just took it as like she still didn't get, like you said, she didn't get that this guy was at, like, no. She forgot she didn't have to pay. She's like, oh, how much is the water? He's like, no, it's yours. She forgot she didn't have to pay. But
not just that, but he drinks the water and puts it back to show his power. Like, yeah, try to sell that now. And then she takes that. It just seemed like she, it was really interesting because I feel like that's how a lot of people would be like, let's try out this power a little bit. Let's see what it's like. And then once she saw what it was like, I feel like she didn't want any parts
I mean,
of that.
maybe you're right. We'll see in the future. I will tell you, one of the funny things that happened, though, was right after that, he shoots his gun to announce to everybody that the, I forget their last name, but basically the whatever brothers, him and his brother run Mirzapur. And I'm like, wow, this guy's getting ahead of himself. And then he gets down and starts doing push-ups on the ground. This guy is nuts.
He's lost it.
It's
It's obviously the pills.
the pills. They're real steroids. You can tell because he's...
And then Muna, it looks like he's even adding more crazy stuff to those pills. He's getting the next batch ready for him. I mean, this guy, he's Muna. We see that when he avoids the assassination attempt, he's no dummy. Right. He's an emotional guy. He's kind of a baby, but he's no dummy. But then it gets really interesting. I mean, this show just keeps throwing it at you. It ends with this hotshot cop being transferred to Mirzapur. Clean this up.
Wait. Before we get there, I wanted to talking about cops.
He always does this.
But what was with Sweetie? Your dad's a cop, and this guy just told you, I'm a gangster. Remember they're in the restaurant having a thing. He pulls out the gun and tells her,
honest with her.
like, look, I'm a gangster. This is what I do.
She takes the stuff and the clips
takes the gun out, takes the clip out. Like, I've been around guns all my life, and if I like you, I like you. And I'm like, wait, isn't your dad like chief of police? Like, what is happening?
First of all, let's think about this. I don't think she's no dummy. I think she knows her dad's getting kickbacks, and so that's her role model. Her dad is being willing to take the free stuff in place of his moral code. I see her. The way I interpreted that was she was basically telling Gudu, as long as you keep bringing me these gifts, as long as you keep taking care of me, and I don't pay for anything, I don't care what you do. I do kind of like you, but I honestly. I want to say she's a good, honorable person. I honestly see her already seeing herself as this guy's going to be the next king of Mirzapur, and I'm going to be the queen, which means I'm going to be the king.
See, but I don't see it that way because before Gudu came along, if that was the case, she would have just been with Muna because he is the prince of Mirzapur.
But I think she still's got to go after her. I'm not saying that she doesn't care about him at all. Right. I'm saying that she sees an opportunity where she actually likes him.
Right.
And she wants to be doted after.
Right.
She doesn't want to be doted after by a dope. And in her mind, I think she sees Muna as a dope.
Right.
She likes Gudu. And so, but I just think she's taking the opportunity. And I mean, to his credit, he says, I'm a gangster. I'm going to do whatever I take. I don't even know if he says it, but it's almost like I enjoy killing. So it is what it is. And she's like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it was a crazy scene, but sorry to cut you off there.
No.
Yeah, then...
But they set up with that cop. I mean, this guy, he's sitting there eating with his boss or whatever. Like, oh, yeah, I'll take care of Mirzapur. No problem. I can't wait to see what he does.
Oh, yeah. And you knew it was going to happen because here's what happens, all right? And I remember watching this documentary about the Cocaine Cowboys. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that one. It's fabulous, man. It's Griselda Blanco. It's talking about basically how Miami skyline was built and how the Colombian drug trade was bringing all the drugs into Miami in the late 70s. I want to say this
what
happened.
the movie Blow was based after?
He was one of the pilots. George Young was just a pilot. This is talking about Griselda Blanco, the godmother. She was bigger than Escobar, bro. Escobar worked for her. In any event, they said that down there nobody noticed anything until the killing started. But once the gunplay starts and the killing starts, when bodies start dropping, that's when people start getting nervous. And as you can see, a lot of bodies dropped in Mirzapur. Mirzapur's always had the gun trade. It's always been violent. But now, part of the unintended plan of giving everybody a gun and turn it into America is the body count goes up, and now some real big hotshot cop is going to come in.
We're not that dangerous.
And clean out the town. Well, some places are.
Some places
man,
everywhere,
Chicago,
right?
There's like places you don't even want to get out the car.
And there goes our few fans from Chicago. But, I'm loving this show. I think I can speak for you. You're loving this show, too.
Love it.
I really feel like this, even though episode 4 was not a bad one, we mentioned it's our least favorite so far, this one definitely brought up a notch.
Oh, yes.
And it threw in the intellectual. It's not just about the killing and the mutilation. The mutilation was actually my least favorite part of the episode. It was a little too cringeworthy. But the intelligence and these characters and how they're shifting. And even Babalu, I don't see him anymore as someone who is regretting the power he's taken. I see him as someone, how can I take this to my advantage? I'm not going to be a psychopath like my brother, but I have no problem morally with making these decisions.
Yeah, he doesn't have that in him, but he's like, look, if we're in this, we're in this. And ultimately, I think he's even the one that says it to his dad, or it might have been Guda. He said, at first, we had to do this. Now, we enjoy doing this. And I was like,
definitely Guda.
He said that was definitely Guda. It sounds like something Guda was saying.
Oh my gosh. He's like, I need to get some more forks. But we hope you enjoyed this review. We know you are because you're giving us lots of love. We appreciate that. Episode 6 is right around the corner.
Coming up.
We want to see these views on these episodes go up a little bit, so show us some love, share with your friends, see what you can do for Born Review Nation. And Until next time.
Later.
I was gonna say we all know all things. I was gonna lip it.
We know all things.